Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Calhoun here, founder, CEO of boardofadvisors.com. Here today I have Brian Dalmaso. Brian has been a kind of a key cornerstone member of our community now, supporting the mindset and strategy side of what it really means to make the right decisions under pressure. With a lot of these CEOs, a lot of these founders, they say it's lonely at the top for a reason, because many times there's no one else to talk to and you end up talking to yourself, right? And that's kind of a joke, but it's kind of not. And for us to have inside of our membership, inside of our community, somebody that can help untangle the actual knots of the thinking through the hard decisions and absorbing the stress. Because many times when the problem doesn't get solved, it gets passed all the way down the line back to, guess who? You, founder, CEO, the guy or girl that has to make the final decision or the final shot or the final call, where sometimes we don't know what the repercussions are. We're just doing our best on a daily basis. And a lot of times as those days pile up, that tension and that pressure ends up growing, and it can be a lot of weight to support over time. Many of these entrepreneurs that I see, they're 20 years in an industry, and you can see it's crunching down on them. And one of the first places I start as a new member comes in the door with BA is, I want you to talk to Brian, and I want to, if we had a pressure relief valve so that we can think clearly and so that we can focus and so we can make great decisions, maybe that's the best place for you to start. So Brian, not only a member of BA, he provides a special luster to BA, and he's become a friend. Somebody that I trust, and somebody that I many times first point of contact like to refer the members to so that we can get clear before we get busy, right? So, if you've never slowed down to speed up, Brian is somebody that I would highly recommend, genuinely recommend, to think through what are the real priorities, right? Let's take everything off the table. And then let's put back what is really meaningful. Where are we going to get the best result? What are the things that correlate to our core values, to our bigger vision? There's usually so many things encroach upon us over a period of time. We're doing stuff we should never be doing. And part of the process is getting that out of our life. The real tricky part, though, is getting your mind to work with you and for you and not against you. Because I think that the human nature, and what I've learned from Brian here is just the human side of things is we become our own worst enemy at times. And what I think Brian shows us is, yes, that's a natural tendency, but it's not natural, right? We are made to create. We are made to perform. We are like no other species. And we have gifts and talents that, we are built to leverage. And Brian, I think, not only is from a mindset perspective, Brian actually is somebody that can inspire you, somebody that can support you. And here's one thing that I find is most meaningful. Brian has the capability to understand. And before anyone helps anyone with anything, they have to catch that first. Catch, what is it? What do you have going on? Understand, deconstruct, and then move forward smarter, right? For me, again, founder, CEO, board of advisors, 23 years of Herculean effort all across US, all across Australia, we had partnerships with Adobe. One of my first deals was a tech deal out in Silicon Valley. I mean, when you have top level ownership, relationships that are constantly under pressure, it all flows back to you. And I've felt that pressure over the years. I've felt that kind of mental fatigue. And sometimes people think it's emotional, but but I would say it's truly mental fatigue because you're constantly getting up and going to that strategic battle daily. The sharper you can keep that, the more you're going to outperform your competition. That's something that is like, we have an 8th degree black belt in our community, and he didn't get to be an 8th degree black belt by thinking about it. It was part of the process. It's where it started. He desired it, but a lot of work went into it. And I think what I like that Brian does so well is he provides the framework, the process, the clarity of, you might have a lot on you right now, but here's how we get sharp. Here's the process we follow. It's not hard. It's really about being frequent and consistent and building a better habit out of the bad habit into the better habit, and staying frequent and consistent over time. So, if I don't know, maybe this is on social media, maybe this is something that is being played in an event. There's a lot of venues where Brian is training and advising and performing, what he does so well. I would genuinely consider or recommend or encourage you, strike a direct conversation with him. If you're a beginner, it doesn't matter. He has something for you. But if you're, doing 100 million a year, if you're doing 50 million a year, if you're going through a very stressful exit, it doesn't matter where you're at. He's got a program. We actually spent some time together going through the levels of his, I call them service levels, going through his service levels. And it was interesting to see that he's not all about the money. It's not like, let me just work with high performers who, are about to crack. It's more about, he wants to be part of your story. He wants to be part of that development process. He loves the emerging entrepreneur that has the new tech or product or service. He loves that individual, that has gotten over to the couple $1 million and is trying to figure out how to scale, but many times they're the one in the way. And that's a mental thing too, figuring out you're the one in the way, right? And then you've got the larger scale projects. I think we call it IndyCar racing, right? You've got the big high end clients that many times are kind of the banner clients, the things that people, when you work for a Coca-Cola or you work for a Walmart or you work for the big brands, people start to notice that you're doing real things, right? And it's nice to see that you're able to cater to all of that, because you never know when the little guy is the next big guy, right? Mm-hmm. All big things start out small. And I watched you in the meeting today, or actually you kicked things off this session. We actually put Brian first so that the entire week would go the way we want it to go. It's one thing to have a great presentation right in the middle of the week, but in this arena where you're bringing communities together, it's more important that you start out with a fresh mind, right? You can't absorb, that sponge isn't going to absorb anything great if it's full of pre-existing stuff, right? So again, Brian, brother, I love what you're doing.
Much appreciated.
I love to see how you've grown. You've worked with all the different individuals in our community. I look forward to a long-term relationship with you and the community. And, I would just encourage you, reach out to Brian. He's like a real guy, believe it or not, he's a real guy that really cares.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please, please, please comment, like, and share, and click on that subscribe button so you can get all of the wealth mindset videos from the Matrix Success Network. Thank you very much. Be well. God bless.